Welcome to Hanging with the Chads on this very special weekend we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest co-host and tag team partner ever, Chad Boudreaux. Boudreaux, how you doing this morning?
Great, man. It's the greatest racing day of all year, so I'm
It
happy.
I agree with you. We're going to get into that, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of NBA news, NHL news going on. More importantly, this weekend, we're going to talk about what this weekend really means. You can enjoy the pool and barbecue, but there's actually a reason you're getting a 3 to 4 day weekend. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to educate you. We got a very special guest. If y'all remember him from our very first teaser episode, Darius Best is going to be joining us here. And Boudreaux, it's been a great week, but we would be remiss if we did not shout out all of the 2025 graduates from our schools and all over the country today. I got three very important ones I got to shout out because they're all related to me. So if I don't shout them out, they're going to be very upset. Starting off, I got my niece Madison Fletcher. She graduated from up in St. Johns County. Great kid, really good head on her shoulders. She's taking her talents to the country roads to West Virginia in the fall. She's going to be going to West Virginia. I have my second niece that I'm going to shout out, Miss Haley Pasmanic. Yes, that's Tampa Bay Mike's daughter. She graduated. She's going to be taking her talents to becoming a dental assistant. And more importantly, no offense to the other two, I got my nephew Jaden. Jaden Christopher Birch, he graduated from Statesville High School up in North Carolina. He's going to be taking his talents to the Carolina University. He's going to become a Bruin and be a part of their baseball team. Jaden has been my A1 since day one. I love the kid more than anything on the face of this planet. Although he's not my flesh and blood, I got a picture that stays with me at all times that was taken on his very first birthday by his mother, and his mother and father gave it to me for Christmas that year. And on the back of it says, "This shows what true love is, and how can you love something so much that ain't yours?" It's real simple. He's my A1. He's my guy. Shout out all the graduates down there at the corner of Pleasant Hill Boulevard and Point Santa Boulevard, Old Liberty High School. We had a lot of graduates, a lot of great kids that come through in my 2 years I've been there. And I think the most important thing, I'm just going to toot our athletic horn a little bit. Out of the top 20 in our class, 8 of them was multi-sport student athletes, which that's a good thing for me, including what is it? The number 2 is called the salutatorian, if I said that correctly. She was a 3-sport varsity athlete, and I expect big things from her. Boudreaux, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we do, right? The reason why we're doing what we're doing is to get those kids across the stage. It's the greatest day of the year when we're in this profession is to watch them walk across the stage. I think the greatest thing that we get to do is go to graduation, watch them walk, and then watch the tears come when they're walking down the aisle, going out to the real world. So it's pretty cool to see. Yeah, shout out to all the guys at the end of World Drive, all the 2025 grads. Not to outdo you, but our valedictorian is also an athlete. She was a 2-sport athlete, but this year she decided to just concentrate on her academics. So she dropped down to 1 sport. But yeah, I mean, our top 20 was littered with nothing but athletes. It's the number one thing, like when we went to the OBC award banquet, just like the District 80 said, like it's the number one thing that keeps kids in school, keeps them motivated. And it's the standard. Like you have to keep a 2.0, which is the standard to graduate. So athletics plays a huge part in these kids graduating. It also prepares them for the real world because you don't win in everything, and that's what athletics teach you, like how to lose right, and how to keep moving forward. So yeah, congratulations to all the 2025 grads. Can't wait to see what you guys do out here in the real world.
Yeah, athletics is the number one dropout tool that education-based athletics can use, and I'm a firm believer in that. And so we're going to see what the future holds next year. I hope that we have more kids. I think in the next year or so, I think I might have a student athlete that goes 1 and 2. So fingers crossed for that, because that would be pretty cool for us. But yeah, shout out all the graduates. I'm going to officially tell you now, go do something with your life. And as Boudreaux likes to say, go be great. It's that simple. You should only be doing 3 things after graduation. They all start with E: employment, enroll, enlist. So if you're not doing one of those, you're wasting your time. And also, hey, Boudreaux, I like that new little hat you got on your dome piece right there, buddy. That looks pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. We have some hats out now. The official HWC hat, Hanging with the Chad's hat. It's on sale on our website and our merch page. We're going to have a few more items coming up, I hope, in the next couple of days, maybe the next week or so. Let me get through the end of this school year and we'll be able to add some more stuff. Just trying to finish off, okay? All right. Hey, so with that being said, let's get into it. We got our top sports news right now. We're going to start with our favorite sport, the NFL. Hey, the owners didn't get greedy. They have voted to allow participation in the 2028 Olympics for flag football. They're going to let some NFL players get in. Now, there's a few caveats, one player from each team per country, things like that. But, hey, they voted for it. I'm happy now. I can't wait to see Patrick Mahomes throwing deep balls to Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson over some poor plumber from Italy out there. They won't be able to cover them. That's what I'm looking forward to. You want another dominant sport? This is the new dream team here in LA. Eventually, we're going to sit down when we get closer to time. We're going to make the ultimate 5-on-5 flag football NFL roster team. But Boudreaux, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the owners saw what the NBA did and how it actually, when they did it. Now, granted, the NFL does not need anything to push them over the top to be the number one sport in America, but it saw that it brought more people and it unified a lot of the athletes together. The guys that make those dream teams out for the NBA, they're locked and loaded together now. Like it's crazy the things the Olympics can do. I thought it was the right decision. I didn't think they were going to do it because money talks. Yeah. But being that it's in LA, you can't have a flag football team out there and not have your best football players out there. So the right decision. Like I said, didn't think it was going to happen, but good for the NFL, good for the owners, good for the Olympics, and people worldwide. Maybe it will expand the game like they're trying to do in the NFL. Maybe that was another reason they did it because they keep going to Europe and down to Mexico to play. So maybe they're just another way to expand the game around the world.
Hey, what's going to get watched more at the 2028 Olympics? Men's basketball or men's flag football?
I think it's going to be flag just because of the fact that people are going to be interested to see what it looks like. But I'm going to feel bad for the other countries that are involved because it's going to be what you just said, you're going to have Mahomes throwing to Hill and JJ, who's marking them? Like you said, some plumber from Italy. No, man, it's I don't even know if people are going to actually watch the U.S. game after the first one. They're like, all right, we're done with this, and they might watch the other countries play. I'm really interested to see the girls' side though. The women's side, I think, is going to be phenomenal because it's the most physical brand new sport
that I've ever seen, other than boys lacrosse, not football.
Right,
crazy.
Right, and it's still a brand new sport. Only a few colleges offer it right now. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I know we've got just toot our own horn down there at the end of World Drive. We have one of our quarterback right now is in the running to be on the actual Olympic team for it in a couple of years. She's on the pants. Yeah, I mean, I'm not bragging or anything because I didn't do anything to do with it. I just gave her the opportunity to play flag football, and then our coach Fournier down there, he's freaking doing a great job. And I got the text late last night saying that she's in the pool now, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I'm really interested to see where the women's side of flag football goes. Men's side, we already know U.S. is going to dominate. It's that you can't mark anyone.
What is Vegas going to put the first over under when we're playing Caracas or whatever? What is the over under for the points right now?
Is there going to be a mercy rule? Are we going to throw in a mercy rule, running clock or something? Because I mean, dude, it's going to be so bad on the men's side.
Hey,
so,
I'm taking the over every game, buddy. It's going to get brutal. It's going to get. And but look, but not to toot our own horn with the Olympics as well. This is also isn't. Is it this next Olympics or the 2020 Olympics? The baseball's coming back.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul Skeens, LA, his wife by then just won gold in gymnastics. He's out there throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Now, baseball is a more world-rounded sport. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not going to be facing plumbers from Italy. He's going to be facing professionals from Japan. And I'm really concerned about that Japan team, like always, because Shohei, because he's probably going to be back pitching by then. I mean, so USA baseball, we're going to have to step up our game a little bit. But hey, shout out Paul Skeens, though. He is playing in the World Baseball Classic. And he said anytime they make the call, he's going to be there. So much respect to that.
Yeah, I mean, that dude's got it. He's got. And speaking of like military, right? Like he went to Air Force. He plans on whenever he's done to. He doesn't want to not do his time, his service, so he's still going to go and do his service. So I mean, he's big in the military. Love Paul Skeens. He's an LSU guy now.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, and the guy like, Jesus, we need to get him out of Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, but when you're freaking doing the things he's doing, having the stats he's having, you're still not getting games out of it. Yeah, he's got to go somewhere.
He's the 2020 version of Mike Trout.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there. But shout out to Mr. Paul himself. Let's just be real. After he plays about 20 more years in the major leagues, I mean, he's going to be old. The Air Force is going to use him as a recruit until he's going to be a lifetime recruiter. But it's all good. Hey, he's going to do his time. He's going to wear the uniform. What's going to suck? He's going to have to cut off those luscious locks and shave that perfect little beard he has going on. So, but he wins in the end. He gets to go home to Libby every night. So we're all living in his world. But shout out Paul Skeens. And moving on, hey, the NFL did not vote against the tush push. It was, from what the reports are saying, pretty hectic going on in there with a lot of words that are said and a lot of owners getting mad at each other. But hey, I like it. I don't mind the tush push. I like the tush push. I'm all for it. If you want to stop them, stop them. That's all I'm going to tell you to do. What's the difference in the tush push and, the single wing under center, quarterback sneak? I mean, I don't really know, but let's just be real. I'm glad the NFL is keeping it and the Eagles have the best response. You want to stop it? Stop it. I mean, it's the greatest play right now in the NFL. I mean, they could probably tush push a first down if they wanted from 10 yards away, But, if your quarterback's squatting 650 pounds, you can move it just a little bit more. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, why do we make rules for something that works? I mean, did somebody got smarter than you and beat you to the punch, and now stop them? I mean, I don't get it. It's the same thing I say, too. Like, when you run up the score on a game, no, if it's like Pee-wee football or something like that, and you run up score, that's bad. But if by the time you get into college and the pros and you're running up score, hey, man, who cares? Like, stop them. Like, your job is to stop them. If you can't stop them, it's not their job to stop themselves. So why are we putting on rules that because somebody's better than the other one, it's finding something out? Hey, let them have it. You figure out a way to stop it, or you figure out a way to not let it get to that situation, because it's only going to happen when it's 4th and 1 or it's 4th and goal inside the 1. That's the only time they're ever going to pull it. Don't let them get to that situation where they can use it, and then you don't have to worry about ever having to use it. So I think it's stupid for the NFL to say, "Oh, we need to stop this," because it's like, no, stop.
You're just mad
figured out something better than you.
You're just mad you can't stop it and you keep losing games. That's
right.
all it is.
And I'm talking, and we're talking as two fans of two teams that are just god awful right now.
Hey,
so like,
whoa!
Hey, come on, man, be serious.
History recalls itself. Carolina's going to the Super Bowl this year. If history repeats it for the third time, my Panthers are going to be in the Super Bowl, and I won't be there because it's going to be too expensive, but I promise you I'll be sitting watching on my new 100-inch TV, because I will buy a 100-inch TV on my wall for the Super Bowl. Probably take it back the next day.
Okay,
but
we'll see this if this happens. But I mean, we're talking as fans from that. Like, why? Like, who cares? Like, at this, again, like I said, man, like, why do we make rules because somebody did something better than you? Like, who cares? Like, figure it out, stop it, move forward.
Exactly. And also talking about figuring out, hey, the Knicks need to figure it out. The Pacers, they're up 2-0 on the Knicks right now. And, yes, there was a miraculous shot in game 1, but hey, Hallie is doing them in. He did the Reggie Miller, I'm going to choke thing. So, or not he, but you are going to choke. But, the Pacers are up 2-0. And then we got the Thunder and the Timberwolves. I think they're about to have a very eventful series. OKC started off with 2-0, but last night Ant-Man said, "Hold my beer," and they destroyed Oklahoma City. What are your thoughts about these two NBA Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals?
Dude, like, what happened in that first game between the Pacers and the Knicks, right? Like, how did that happen?
20-point lead, 20-point comeback.
Right.
Crazy.
Like, and what was it, 27 points in the last, like, 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was insane. Like, and then they hit, what, 7 threes in the last, like, minute of the game? Or
Yeah, it
something
was
like
like
they hit.
the last like 3 minutes or something like that. They hit
Yeah,
21 points worth of points, and you come back and force an overtime. You
right.
know,
Like right there, that's where you knew, okay, Knicks, if you don't win game 2, I, I I think it's over. If because they didn't win
yeah,
game 2. I think it's over now. They when you do something like that and you blow it out that big in a final, you're done. You're absolutely, there's no coming back from that. But like
yeah.
you're saying with that T Wolves and the OKC, that series is going 7. I think the problem with that though is going to be for the Pacers, because I think the Pacers are going to close this out, and I'll give the Knicks 1 game,
Yeah.
but I think the Pacers are going to close this out in 5, and it's going to give them a huge break going into the finals. That first game in the finals, whoever they play, they're going to come out with some rust, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
Excuse me. In the words of Chris Canty, Indiana is going to gentleman sweep 4-1. That Minnesota OKC series is going to go 6 or 7. So it's going to be interesting. This is certainly the NBA's new guard coming around the corner. And, speaking of new guard coming around the corner, my Hurricanes are hurting right now. I think it might be over for my Canes. I think the Panthers they're about to sweep them over there in the Lord Stanley Cup playoffs. But at least the Edmonton and Dallas series is going to be pretty back and forth. Any quick thoughts on hockey? Because I'm not really feeling it today because my Hurricanes. I don't know what to tell you. Can something go our way?
Yeah, no, I didn't want to break your heart, so I don't want to tell you, but I really think the Panthers are going to pretty much do what they're doing right now, only because of what happened. I mean, they played Toronto. Toronto was the best team in the league this year, and they took care of business with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I really thought this was what was going to happen. That Stars Oilers game series, I think it's going to be another tight one. It's up in the air with those two. They both play similar styles, I think. So when you have similar teams going at it, it's going to be a back and forth series. But yeah, I mean, sorry guys, I don't see a Red Sox Yankees comeback out of this Hurricanes Panthers series. Sorry, bro.
I'll still put $1 on that though for them to come back, just so I can win something. So, hey, turn that dollar into 100. I'll be fine with that. Hey, but look, let's just segue in. You said it earlier. This is the best racing day. Boogity, boogity, boy. Let's go racing, boys. This is the busiest race day of the year. We're starting with F1 in Monaco. We're going then to Indy, and then we're ending up in my backyard at the Lowe's or Charlotte Motor Speedway, whichever you want to call it, for the Coke 600. Right now, the F1 Monaco Grand Prix is underway. Somehow, our boy Lando ended up winning the pole. Quick thoughts on that there, Boudreaux?
Yeah, it's underway right now. Looking at a quick update of it, Verstappen's got the lead, but he's got to take another pit. And everybody else has done their 2 pits because F1 changed the rules for this race. They have to do 2 pits. This came from last year. There was a couple red flags, so no one pitted last year during the Monaco race, and F1 wanted to make it more challenging, as if Monaco's not challenging enough. Monaco's kind of even though it is on the greatest race day and it's the crown jewel of F1 racing,
Yep.
It's kind of a boring race just because the fact is the turns are so tight. There's no really fast speeds that go around there because you're constantly turning and the streets are so tight. Passing there is so hard to do. So I honestly think it's just, we're looking at 20 laps to go. I think it's pretty much going to start the way it finished. It's going to go Lando, Charles, Oscar, then Max. Just because that's just the Monaco way. It's just the way you start is the way you finish. There's hardly any passing. So, but yeah, I love this day. Obviously, I'm wearing my dad's shirt. My dad gave me this shirt a long time ago.
That's old Davey Allison.
Davey Allison shirt. Yep.
R.I.P. Davey Allison.
Davey Allison is the reason why I got into racing to begin with in NASCAR. I was a huge Davey Allison fan. I still remember the day my dad woke me up and told me that he died in a helicopter crash.
R.I.P.
So, but yeah, like this is my favorite day of the year. I always, like we talked about off the air, that we used to go to the races all the time when we were stationed up in North Carolina. Get those free tickets coming out of turn 2. Get those tickets right there in the top corner. Get baked by the sun, but it didn't matter. We were having good times, man.
Hey, look, that's the only professional sporting event I was able to bring a cooler full of liquor and beer into and not get said anything to. Shout out NASCAR, baby. Hey, from the most glamorous race in the world in Monaco to the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500. You got 200 laps, 500 miles, speeds over 230 miles an hour. Indy 500. I have family in Indianapolis. That's why I always say this is a great day for us, because we got to hit the Indy 500 and the Coke 600, and there was a representation of my family at both races. So we got the Indy. We're rocking and rolling. This is where legends are made. Robert Schwartzman, he's starting on the pole, and I'm just going to give a very big disclaimer. I do not follow Indy that much except for this race, so I don't know much about it. I just know that it's the race before I get ready for the Coke 600. Any thoughts on that there, Boudreaux?
The Penske cars, man. Like, they're always tough to beat there. I'm really interested to see how they react through the whole race, but they're always so tough to beat there. So yeah, that's my big thing. I can't wait to see how Larson pulls off the Indy 500 and the 600.
Yep.
Because that's going to be a double that he wasn't able to do last year. So we'll see if he can actually pull it off this year. Hopefully no weather affects it. But yeah, I want to see how he finishes too, because Larson's one that I'm keeping an eye on. The man can race anything. He's proved it. So it's going to be fun to watch him jump out the car, run to the airport, get down to Charlotte, jump in the car, and race again. I remember watching.
Be real, he ain't going to the airport. Mr. Hendrick has a private jet waiting for him to get him down there. He's going to be sitting in there in a chamber, getting hydrated and relaxing. So I
believe it was Tony Stewart that tried this before, and it was fun watching him trying to do it. Yeah. So it's fun when they try to pull stuff like that. Now the question is, though, if Larson pulls off a win, how's that going to affect the whole thing? But
what if he wins both?
Yeah, right. It wins, like he's got to do all the victory celebration stuff. How's he going to go from there to there in that short time? I don't know, but it's going to be fun to watch. I love it. Like I said, I love this day. The kids at a birthday party right now, and I asked the wife, I was like, "Yo, is it all right if I don't go, because it's racing day?" And she's like, "I know, you're fine, you'll be fine." But yeah. No, this is my favorite day of the year, man. It really, I love this day more than WrestleMania, than the Super Bowl. Only because it's all day. It's an all day event.
I mean, the way WrestleMania is set up, it's all day event now.
Yeah, right. Well, WrestleMania is a whole weekend now. So yeah. So that's the reason why. Because you wake up. I mean, literally, I woke up this morning, put on ESPN, and I put on Monaco, and we're already at the pregame, and I'm sitting there eating a bowl of cereal, drinking coffee. It's great, and then. It's weird this year, though. This year's weird. We gotta put the disclaimer in there. No longer are we watching the Indy 500 on NBC or ABC. Now it's going to be on Fox. Yep. So yeah, it's going to throw things off for me a little bit. And then we got the Coke 600, not on Fox. Now it's going to be on Prime.
Yep.
So it's really throwing everything off for me.
It's thrown everywhere, bro.
Yeah, man. But like I said, it's great because again, I wake up bright early in the morning, put on the F1 race right away, eat a bowl of cereal, drink some coffee, and then roll right into the Indy, and then roll right into Coke 600. That's why I love the day, man. I love it.
Hey, and you know, the greatest racing spectacle in the world, to the Coca-Cola 600. I love the Coca-Cola 600. I'm a NASCAR guy. Yes, I'm a Hendricks Motorsports connoisseur. I'm a Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. supporter. But you know, Kyle Lawson, you know, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman, even Joey Logano. Anybody not named Kyle Busch, I don't care, wins this race. So, hey, it's a great day of racing. It's a great spectacle to be in. You know, 600 miles on a 2.5 mile track. I mean, it's going to be a lot of racing. I got a lot of great memories at the Coca-Cola 600. And, it's the greatest racing day in the world. And speaking of greatest racing day and greatest day in the world, it's more today, and tomorrow means more than anything to a lot of people for a lot of reasons. It's not just about your barbecues. It's not just about the first unofficial day of summer. This is Memorial Day. This is a day where we get to give you for a day of remembrance. We're going to teach you what it means to celebrate Memorial Day properly, because a lot of people in culture don't know exactly what Memorial Day means. And after this short break, we're going to bring in our guest, Mr. Darius Best, after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer. This is Chad Boudreaux. Thank you for hanging out with the Chads today on this beautiful Sunday morning. And we'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I told you it was going to be a quick break. I told you we was going to have a lot of fun. And with us today, he is a United States Army veteran. He is a football coach. He is an amazing father, an amazing husband, and a great, genuine man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Darius Best to the stage today. Darius, how you doing? Good morning, brother.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Hey, we're doing good. We're getting ready for racing because that's what we do on Memorial Weekend. But Memorial Weekend is more than what we want to do today. There's a big meaning behind it, and we're glad you're here. Mr. Best, please start off, share your story. Please explain to the people who you are.
Shoot, man, it's not very hard to tell you about myself, man. I'm very simple. I love football, and that's about it.
Cheers to that.
I did my time in the U.S. Army after I got out of high school, and ever since then, I kind of been chasing that dream of making it big, coaching football, man. So that's what I've been doing. I mean, ever since then, man, just trying to get my foot in the door at different places so I can keep moving up in the ranks to coach, man. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so we appreciate you. We appreciate your service. Coach Best here is a great individual, as I've mentioned before. What did you do in the Army, Mr. Best?
I was a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout.
Now, please correct the people listening. How do you properly say that without disrespecting someone in your MOS?
Cav. It's not cavalry. It's cavalry. Cavalry Scout. If you can't say cavalry, just say scout, man. We're scouts. 19 Deltas.
So, again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you say that properly, because people do get very upset when their jobs are not said properly.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Best, thank you for being here. We hope that you're having a wonderful day, and hopefully, when we get in this conversation, it doesn't open up too many wounds that we need to discuss. So, what is Memorial Day, ladies and gentlemen? Memorial Day, there's 3 days throughout the year: Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Armed Forces Day. A lot of people, even today, they'll walk up, thank you for your service. It's great, respectful, cool. But ladies and gentlemen, Memorial Day is not a day of thanking veterans for their service. That's what Veterans Day is for. It's also not thanking those who are currently serving. That's what Armed Forces Day. Memorial Day is actually remembering those who have fallen. So we're going to give some quick backstory here, and everybody can chime in as you need. So Memorial Day is always the last Monday in May, which is technically tomorrow. And it honors those who died in military service to the United States. So a lot of people will celebrate Memorial Day as anybody that served that's passed away. And to me, that's acceptable. At one point you did write that check, but it's mainly for those who have passed away. And we've all knew someone that passed away during their service. We have all been affected by that. So at the end of the day, it's just a day that we remember those. And so, Mr. Best, being our guest, how do you go about remembering your brothers or sisters that has lost their lives during their time of service?
Well, I think for me, it's about educating some of the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
I have 6 children altogether. I have 3 sons that live with me, and 2 now because one of them's 21. But for me, especially on a day like today, I go out of my way to make sure I educate them on what the military is, what it's about, what it requires of you,
Mm-hmm.
and then the sacrifices that it took for those people that served during that time or even up till now. And then also for me, just remembering someone on a personal level, one of my best friends when I was in Staff Sergeant Timothy Sane, who was promoted posthumously. I named my son, my baby son, Legend. His middle name is Sane, after him. Just so that's something that, at being 7 years old right now, he doesn't think too much about, well, what's in my name? Like, why am I named this? But as he gets older, he'll start to question, like, well, where did Sane come from? Because nobody else in our family has that name. And I can always go back and remind him, like, this is your uncle that, served alongside me, died, and I always want to be able to honor him. And that's why I named you that, so that you can continue to carry that on. Yes, Sane has 2 sons, but as an extension of him, an extension of his family, you also get to carry that torch going forward, bearing his name as well. So that's what I do.
RIP Staff Sergeant. Thank you for your service. Boudreaux, any bounce back on that?
No, I mean, basically what I do is ever since I moved here to Florida, I moved here to Florida to be with one of my Marine Corps brothers. And every Memorial Day, it just coincides. He's a lacrosse coach, and it coincides with the lacrosse national championship. So I go to his house, and we just sit around, watch the lacrosse championship. We grill out, have a few beers, and then just talk about the people we lost. Oh,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like you said, man. I cringe sometimes. Like, granted, I'm appreciative. Like, thank you for service and all stuff, but
Yeah.
I cringe because it's like, guys, you don't understand what today's about.
Yeah.
Like I brought it up the other day at work. I was like, there was some people that were talking about some stuff, and I'm like, do you even know what Monday's about? And they were like, yeah, we get the day off. I'm like, do you go to a cemetery? Do you like sit with the Gold Star family? Do you do any of that? Like, then don't act like whatever around me right now, because that's not what it's about. Because they were just they were complaining about something. I'm like, you have no idea what you're complaining about. Just stop talking to me right now. Go somewhere else. Go talk to someone else. Because it's not about thanking me. It's not about the grill outs. It's not. Yeah, you get a day off, cool, but you need to understand what this day is and why it means so much to like the 3 of us and then the other ones that are like us in our situation. Because it's more than that. It means more. They deserve more than just a day, but they decided to give them a day, so respect the day.
And shout out to the Gold Star families out there. You are not alone. Your sacrifice with your family member that's no longer here is not going on deaf ears. So shout out to all the Gold Star families out there. Yeah, you guys are right. You both hit it on the head. Yeah. On Memorial Day, I don't wear my Marine Corps veteran hat. I don't want the attention. I wear my Marine Corps veteran hat on 2 days, and they follow each other, the 10th of November and the 11th of November. We'll get into that here in a moment. But, at the end of the day, it is about the remembering. And that's why I said I'm don't mind it being if, Johnny over here served in the military and then, he passed away. I mean, he gets buried at Arlington like anybody else or any other military, funeral area there is. However, it is a lot. And the thing I love the most is, when people truly understand that and like actually try and teach it. So our ROTC, they're aware of what's going on, obviously. And I love whenever like the Eagle Scouts or whatever, they go out and they put the flags at the headstones of all the fallen soldiers, military personnel. But I think like one of the coolest experiences I ever had is like up in Arlington. I went up there one time. Now it wasn't Memorial Day or anything, but I did go to the Arlington National Cemetery. I went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I mean, that right there puts everything I did in the military in perspective, I tell everybody the greatest thing I've ever done in my life is on January 5th, 2009, stepping foot on the yellow footprints. Because, just like, Boudreaux, you understand, those footprints are something else, best you Army weirdos don't have that type of stuff. Y'all probably y'all probably get off the bus and they give you like a Lunchable or something and tell you to come over here and hang out.
Give you the timeout card. You got a timeout card still?
Hey,
You got a timeout card?
No, he told me.
Listen,
he told me straight up. Look, he told me straight up that when he got off, he's like, hey, you want the Charger keys or the Camaro keys? That's literally what happened.
With the 20% APR, right?
Yeah. Literally already had it signed. That was in his contract. It was already done and over with.
God, bro, that's not true whatsoever. Listen, you gotta understand, the Army is the great melting pot of the military. Every Marine is a Marine. Am I right or am I wrong?
Army, you know what it stands for? You know what the Army stands for? Ain't ready to be a Marine yet, baby.
I'm trying to get a compliment, okay? Marine, right?
Yes.
Every soldier in the Army is not created equal, okay?
No,
you have some that's going to go in there and have a little bit easier time. It was not like that for Cav Scout, okay? We are a combat arms MOS. It is balls to the wall as soon as we get there. It's not for the faint of heart. So, listen, I do respect the fact that the Marines, everybody get the same treatment. Y'all all getting this work.
We all get. It's definitely equal opportunity in the Marine Corps. We equally treated like shit.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly.
Shout out to Senior Drill Instructor Gunnery Sergeant Benachek. Hoorah. Hey, what's funny is he actually was in my MOS. And very awkwardness is when I go to Cherry Point right before my deployment and he's standing there. That's awkward, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so back on track here before we got sidetracked. We all wrote that check, bro. We all enlisted in that. Look, I talk crap about every single branch, but I'll tell you right now, I respect every single branch. I got friends in the Army. I got friends in the Navy, friends in the Air Force. My brother-in-law is in the Coast Guard. I consider that a branch. And I don't know anybody in the Space Force yet. I still don't know if it even exists, but whatever. I got a flag. Who cares? But at some point in time in our lives, every one of us wrote a check. It was blank. We signed the dotted line knowing that we might not come home. Let's be real. And some people didn't come home. That's why we have Memorial Day. Some background about Memorial Day. It originated after the Civil War. It was called Decoration Day, but then it slowly formed into what we know now as Memorial Day. And it's basically, you often observe with flags on graves, moments of silence, and ceremonies. There's always a Memorial Day parade. To the general public, it's the unofficial start of summer. But to us, we know what it really means. And so moving on from Memorial Day, we have Veterans Day, which is always November 11th. And I would like to thank Congress or whoever passed that, because November 10th, they finally realized that you got 300,000 Marines that are getting drunk on the Marine Corps birthday. They need a day off the next day. So thank you for making Veterans Day on November 11th, everybody. It's the truth. It is the truth. Okay?
You ain't lying. It's
the truth. Okay. Sorry, the Army is not as special. You stole
we all got to recover
and everything. Yeah,
we got to
need
recover
a day
from the
of
ball.
recovery.
We got to recover from the ball, man. We throw a ball. We throw a birthday ball.
Ooh, do we? Do we? Boy, hey, Bess, I know the Army probably has a little bit more money and they get to have a little bit more fun, but you don't know shit until you went to a Marine Corps ball, buddy. Until you see some crusty ass gunny that shouldn't be doing anything breaking out. As soon as they hit the crank that soldier boy and he starts cranking out the Superman, and you're like, how the hell does this motherfucker do that? Where did he learn that from? But at the end of the day, man, Veterans Day, that's where we honor those who have served in the military, especially those who are living, all right? That's when the general public can say, thank you for your service. That's when we all fight to get into the Golden Corral buffet line or the free haircut line or the free appetizer at Applebee's or the free steak at Texas Roadhouse. I tell you, look, me and my boy, when we got home from our deployment, we made a fucking list of everything we're going to do on Veterans Day, like an itinerary, and just and hit it all, you know. But
breakfast from Denny's.
Hey, look, man, look, I'm a Waffle House guy. Okay.
Waffle House ain't never gonna give you no discount. You ain't
they might not give us a discount.
Waffle House is the discount.
At least you'll get a free show. It might be some ugly woman, or it might be somebody fighting in the back. You're gonna get some type of entertainment.
Waffle House, you might catch some straight hands.
Look. Hey, Waffle House. Hey, Waffle House. I put Waffle House against a lot of people. Okay, a Waffle House crew against any other crew, I would put Waffle House 10 out of 10 twice on Sunday. Okay,
100%.
So it was originally Veterans Day was originally called. I'm not going to say this right. Maybe one of y'all can. Armistice Day. It doesn't sound. Yes, it doesn't sound very American, but whatever. It was basically marking the end of World War I. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where you get a chance to thank veterans for their sacrifice and for their service. So thank you guys for your service. That's how it goes. So I I obviously don't go to work on Veterans Day. There are some school districts that actually goes to work on Veterans Day, and I was not ever going to work on those days. So what I like to do for like my veterans at school, so like the Friday before Veterans Day, I know this year we're gonna throw like a nice lunch for our veterans, give them some social media shout outs and things like that, do like a little ceremony for them, but it's cool. So Veterans Day, that's where we get thanked for our service. And, any thoughts on that, guys? Anything you want to add?
I mean, I could go with it. So it's the 11th day on the 11th month on the 11th hour is when the whole thing for World War I. So that's the reason why it falls on that day. I mean, we always joke as Marines, like, yeah, you just want to give us the day off because all the partying we do the day before. But no, it's just, it's the day that's the day you should thank veterans. That's the reason why it's called Veterans Day. We, like you said, man, I don't work that day. Obviously, our district doesn't work that day, but yeah,
I know a certain district that does work that day.
Yeah, I'm not even if we did work that day, I wouldn't work that day. I'm taking my 4-day weekend and having fun.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, because it starts on the 10th. Yeah, it definitely starts on the 10th.
And this year it's going to roll right in. I'm going to have Monday and Tuesday off this year. Oh, boy, I can't wait. They're going to be like, where the hell's Springer at? Oh, don't worry about it. He'll be back Wednesday, early release day. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Best anything to add about Veterans Day?
No, not really, man. I mean, it's just, I think you guys have covered every point of it. I mean, it's just, I like that it's getting more and more appreciated. Mm-hmm. And again, for me, it's all about the youth, educating them on like, hey, this is why, on November 11th, you have this day off from school. And this is why, you say, thank you for your service to your veterans. Because again, man, as I'm getting older, I'm looking at the kids coming up behind me and I'm like, let me pull you to the side and start putting you on some game as to how life really is. It's not what's in this right here. Because they think that this is the end all be all and that what they put on here is the truth. And I'm like, it's really not. And this, honestly, the freedoms that you enjoy come down to some sacrifices that people have made and are making. So
just to get on that though, the education part of it, the one thing my school does cool, like before the weekend, they call, like I usually go into a couple classrooms and I just speak to the class. Like I just tell them, hey, like, tell them about me. And I'm an open book too. You can ask every kid in the school. Like I'm an open book. I will tell them anything they want to know. Mm-hmm. And they get a question period. And they get to ask me whatever they want to ask me, like about my service, about how it affected my wife who works at the school too. Most of the time she's in there with me, so she can answer some of those questions. So yeah, like the school's really been open about it, about like letting me talk to the kids about what veterans are. Some of the other veterans on campus, they're also allowed to do it. I know we have Miss Hyslop's class usually calls me in. My wife's class usually calls me in. The other avid teacher usually calls me in. And then there's other couple classes that'll call like some other veterans in. So yeah, we do try to at the school try to expand their knowledge on what a veteran really is, and that they actually do know a veteran. If they don't, but you know how transient we are. We have a lot of kids that may or may not been born here, so they don't know anyone here that has been a veteran and something like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to get that opportunity.
That's always good is the educational aspect of it. And at the end of the day, just the kids, they need to know that there's more. Because I mean, I think we had like 15 of our graduating class, they're enlisted, so it might not seem like a lot, but to us and to our area, I mean, that's a lot, because at the end of the day, these kids might have been listed because of something I said, something our recruiter said, something our ROTC instructor said, and that's always a good thing. And I don't try to go too crazy. Like I said, I'll shout out the veterans. It'd be like a week-long process where like every day it's like a veteran of a day or something like that. We'll give them, I mean, you can't do everything you want to do for them, because at the end of the day, like, guys, be honest, like, they can give us all the free food we want. They can give us all the free haircuts we want. Like, what does that really mean to us? Yeah, I mean, just one day a year, you got to celebrate veterans as much as you can. And I think that's why a lot of like places are really hard on hiring veterans with veteran preference. I think that's why, the state of Florida, they have a state law now that if you're a veteran and you have 60 college hours of credible college, you can take your teaching license to become a teacher. You don't even need a 4-year degree, ladies and gentlemen, because they say that your experience in the military should supersede or override, however they want to say it in that phrase, to become an educator. Like, that's crazy. And it's not crazy in a bad way, but like, think of more places got on. Like in the state of Florida, just thinking about like our military VA benefits. Like, it's some outrageous additions to what other states do. If you're 100% here, not only you get your disabled tag, but you never pay for your driver's license or property taxes ever again. If you have student loans that are federal, they're automatically forgiven. It's some very, and you get a lifetime pass to the state parks and everything as well. And like it's cool, like not cool because again, Boudreaux, I'm going to bounce back to something you said earlier about how people don't know what tomorrow is. A lot of people don't know what it is to be in the military, period. Like, I can tell you at a former school district I worked at in North Carolina, about 45 minutes north of Charlotte, up 77. I had a teacher tell me one day when we was talking about pay and, which teachers got paid more, especially in North Carolina. She's like, why are you worried about it? You get VA money. I was like, and she's like, you don't have to pay for your health care. I was like, I wish, such and such could get his VA money, but he's dead. The kid says, oh, you got free education. Oh, I did get free education, huh? Was you deployed for over a year away from your family with minimum communication in 37 different parts of the world? Like,
right.
I wish there was more understanding to that. Like, yes, don't get me wrong. The VA money is good to have. It supports me financially. However, there's people that don't get that option now. Because why? Because of what we're celebrating tomorrow. There's men and women who don't get their VA benefits, who didn't get to use their education stuff, who don't get their vocational rehabilitation stuff, who don't get their free healthcare, who don't get their free dental, who don't get their free medical and all that stuff because they're not here, because they can't get it. Like, ladies and gentlemen, don't get it twisted. The benefits we receive based on our service is, I don't want to say low, but it could be more. However, it helps compensate the things that we went through. Is that a good way to describe that?
Absolutely.
It's a compensation. That's why it's called compensation and pension. Because they're compensating us for the sacrifices we made. Now, yes, we all three came home, but all three of us know at least one person who is not home.
Yeah, but we also came home, but we also left something there.
Yes.
Like the ones that got deployed. I mean, we went through something that you can't take away from us. Like when they say, "Oh, you lost your innocence," but I lost more than my innocence. Trust me on that one. There's things that we've seen, that I've seen, that no human being should ever see.
Exactly.
And so those are the things that, yeah, you might say that I'm getting extra money and all that stuff for, but you're not the one that wakes up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat wondering what the hell just happened because of the nightmare you just had for the things that you saw. Or you're not there like losing your mind because one thing pops off on the 4th of July. Like, those are the things that we're being compensated for. Yeah, some like I got a screwed up back and my back will never be the same again because of that. So yeah, I'm getting paid for that too. But
I'll
it's
walk
also
on it for you.
right, like
I'll fix
you,
it.
yeah, right. But I'm just saying, like it's like so all of that. But there's also something you said earlier too about like people wanting to hire veterans. I mean, look at us. We're 3 veterans. We're 3 excelling at what we're doing because the discipline that we learned in the military. That's the reason why we have discipline, we have drive, we have goals, and we go to get those goals. Like we don't stop. Mission accomplishment is our goal.
Yep.
So that's the reason why. I mean, there's people, we all work with them, we all see them. They come in, clock out, go home. I watch people leave all the time. I watch teachers leave all the time, trying to leave before the students, rushing out before students run out. And it's like I don't leave until at least 4 o'clock if I'm lucky. And you're gonna sit there and complain about this, that, or the other thing.
You get a supplement for that though, Boudreaux.
Yeah, okay. You want they can have that supplement and then they can have that responsibility. Trust me.
Yo, it's the crazy and to bounce off what you said, Boudreaux. We get compensated for the things we left there, but we also get compensated for the things we left here. Like, you left your kids here, you left your wives here, and I was speaking to my nephew who graduated yesterday from Statesville High School, or Friday from Statesville High School. I remember very vividly. I called him on Christmas. I was able to make a phone call on Christmas. I called him, told him Merry Christmas. I told him I love him. And at the time, he was just in kindergarten. He was 5 years old. He was like, "Uncle Chad, how come you don't come stay all night with me no more?" I was like, "Well, Uncle Chad's, over here." He's like, "Well, I miss you and I want you to come home so you can stay all night with me again." That's the stuff that tears you up. Marines are supposed to be stone cold killers, but you got a 5-year-old melting your ass down like damn butter on a freaking frying pan, So, I think about those things like, and he made a very valid point. I never missed anything in his life until that deployment, and I don't have kids, so I consider my nieces and my nephews like my own. Darius, he's seen it. I'm around Darius's kids. They call me Uncle Chad. Hell, I taught one of his kids. He called me Uncle Chad. I was like, "No, you call me coach in school, fool." But at the end of the day, like that's the things that you miss. To me, like those are the things that is an even more sacrifice that we got to do. And getting into the final thing, Armed Forces Day. That's the 3rd Saturday in May. That was last Saturday. That's when we honor those who currently serve, active duty, National Guard, and reserves. And so it's basically it's to unify how separate the Navy, Army, Marine Corps, and Air Force days were. So they unified everything into one day. Now I'm sure the Coast Guard and Space Force is on that, but it recognizes those who are currently defending our freedoms. And Armed Forces Day is just another great day. I wish it'd be more spaced out from Veterans Day, but I don't make the rules or the dates. They probably got something else in mind. But so to quickly wrap it up, what we learned today is Memorial Day is for those who died. Veterans Day is for those who have served. And then Armed Forces Day is for those who are currently serving. And is there anything you gentlemen want to add to that?
I mean, it just like, yes, we're being very petty and saying that these are what these days are for, but we just want to make sure everyone understands, like, when you go up to a veteran, especially a veteran who has lost someone, and you thank them for this day, or you say Happy Memorial Day, like it's not really a happy day for us.
Yep.
So if we give you like some kind of look, or if we just like, "Yep, thanks," and then kind of like walk away, don't think that we're being assholes or jerks. It's because we don't celebrate this day. We remember this day.
Yep.
So it's not really a happy, joyous day for us.
Yeah, that's very true. Bess, you want to add anything?
I think that it is important that we did create, not we, but that they did create those 3 specific holidays, those 3 specific reasons, so that the general public can start at least trying to catch up a little bit. Like you said, when they're walking around and having a good time on Memorial Day, they recognize that, hey, you know, this guy might not be in the best of mood because this isn't a happy occasion for him. And then fast forward to November, you know, Veterans Day, you know, you're actually actively thanking the veterans, and you're not just walking by like, well, why does this guy get a free whatever and I got to stand in line or this, that, and the third. So I just think I like that, you know, those 3 holidays are being made such a big deal. I like that you brought them to light on today on this podcast, so that people can, again, I'm all about education, man. All people to know what you're talking about, know who you're talking to. A lot of times it saves you in a plethora of different situations when you understand who you're talking to and know what you're talking about. Yeah. So that's my big thing on that.
Absolutely. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we're just here to help you. We're here to inform you. And we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to be right back. We're going to finish the show. We're going to have a little bit of fun to finish the show. I'm Chad Springer, always with my tag team partner, Boudreaux, and our special guest today, Mr. Best. Hey, we appreciate you hanging with the Chads today. We appreciate your support. And we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back. And we're going to finish the show with Mr. Best. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are back to Hanging with the Chads. We're going to finish the show off strong today. We got myself, Chad Springer. We got the greatest tag team partner, the tag team champion himself, Chad Boudreaux, and Mr. Best, our special guest today. And we're going to have a little bit of fun there with you, Mr. Best. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to play a What Would You Rather segment here. And I'm winging it. I'm coming up with it on the fly. And this is going to be, what would you rather for your Veterans Day lunch? You get your free Texas Roadhouse, or you get your free Golden Corral. Which one are you taking for lunch?
Oh, man. Oh, Golden Colon or Texas Roadhouse. Listen, because here's the problem. When I was in the reserves, they pay for our lunch every day, our weekends. And that week we went to Golden Corral up until my platoon sergeant finessed it to where we got it to max speed barbecue. But anyway, I got to go with Texas just because I'm going to need me a good steak that day. You know what I'm saying? Need me a good steak. Texas got that bread. I'm with all of that.
Absolutely. Mr. Boudreaux?
So this actually is real easy for me, and it's because of Golden Corral. And it's no offense to Golden Corral. I mean, I've had Golden Corral growing up a lot of times, but we were doing our workups to go to Iraq, and the 2 weeks before we left, it was like the final party for the unit before we took off. There was no families invited. It was just the unit. Like, we just got back from the field. We were going out. And we went play paintball as a unit, which was awesome. I got to shoot my my captain in the head 3 times. It was awesome.
That's always good.
Yeah. So after that, we went to Golden Corral, and the unit paid for it. For the next week, I was, that's why it's Golden Colon. So yeah, I don't eat at buffets anymore because of that. I won't even eat buffet style at work. So if they do like a buffet style for like teacher appreciation, I'm like, yeah, I'm not eating that. Sorry, guys. Because it from that moment. So yeah, easy. TRH all day.
Hey, look, I love some Golden Corral when the family's here because it's just convenient. But Them Texas Roadhouse rolls, dog, that wins every time.
Yeah.
And then Texas Roadhouse rolls is where it's at. And speaking of rolls, here we go. Would you rather for 1 week eat nothing but MREs or field week in your MOS in the field for a whole week with chow hall food? Your MREs is just eating MREs. There's no field week involved.
Dog, we're in the field, but we got chow hall style food.
See,
I'm taking field week, bro. I'm taking field week. Listen, you gotta understand. I was stationed in Alaska. I was at Fort Wainwright. It's beautiful out there. So if you don't mind being out in the sticks, like I'm a country boy, I don't mind being out in the sticks. So if you don't mind being out in the sticks and you get good food on top of that, I'm with that. I'm not eating them. You want to be locked up and need that gum? Remember that gum used to come in the MRE? Yeah, you want to be locked up eat MREs for a week. You're gonna be locked all the way up.
Maybe I needed that after Golden Corral.
Hey, look, I think it's going to depend on the MRE. If you give me all the spaghetti MREs, I'll be straight eating them for a week because it's no different than eating Chef Boyardee. But I'm going to pick MREs and stay at home because I got a laboratory right here, and that's what we're going to use if we have to.
I'm with Bess, man. I'm going in the field.
Nah.
Springer, come on, dude. Like, how many times did you go in the field and you got to screw around? Like, how much fun was the field when you screwed around?
You know what my field was? My field was going on a ship and rearranging boxes and containers.
And so you didn't really go to real field, man. You got to go to real field. When you're just sitting up there, like for us, for Com, man, we set up the shot and we're done. Literally, we set up the shot. We're out there for a month doing nothing but making sure the radio's working.
We had to go to Baltimore to make sure we knew how to move our work centers in case anything happened. We could build our work centers on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Now, funny story about that. Shout out to Baltimore. That was a fun time. I was sitting at the Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox game in September, I think like 25th, 2012. I was sitting beside a sergeant major, a colonel, and a couple other people at this baseball game. And that's where I found out I was becoming an NCO. I was on the promotion list to corporal finally after 2 fucking years of waiting in a closed MOS. And from the rest of that week and a half period until the time we went home, I was the sergeant major driver duty. So I got to sleep in, and I just had to drive the sergeant major and the first sergeant around and the gunnies while they got drunk. And but that was really fun. I earned my stripes that weekend for sure. But it was fun. So I would much rather not do a 620, 6432 MOS, 6433 MOS field week because that involves us going on another ship. And I spent 314 dads on a ship for deployment. So, yeah, not happening.
Hey, give me the field all day, dude. I will take the field than going into the shop all day. Honestly, because the field, like, seriously, for us, per com guys, we set up the shot, and then we just sat around and just played cards, video games, and beat the shit out of each other. It was awesome. It was the greatest day ever.
All right, here we go. Moving on to the next. What would you rather? What would you rather? Go back to boot camp at your current athletic abilities and body frame, or would you rather shave your head and beard off for that whole 3-week period?
For a 3-week period? Oh, go to boot camp for 3 weeks or shave your head and beard for 3 weeks?
No. You go to boot camp for the whole time, but I meant the 3-month period for boot camp. You got to shave your beard and head just one time for a week, or you got to go back to boot camp right now in your current physical fitness level.
Hey, these can go.
Goodbye.
Hey, look, that should be a trick question because when you go to boot camp, you're gonna have to get rid of them anyway.
Hey, boot camp was hard when I was 19. So
yeah,
37. Oh no, I'm good.
Like, I'm not gonna lie about boot camp. Boot camp to me, like, it sucked when you're there and everything. Like, but looking back on it, it was such a good time, man. It really was a good time.
Would you rather stand in formation for a change of command ceremony, full uniform, right now, current fitness levels, or go on a motivated birthday run with your over exuberant CO who just wants to run everywhere?
Give me the change of command. Give me the change of command. I can stand in place very easily. I ain't worried about that.
I'm locking my knees, dog. I'm getting out of both of them.
Oh, we used to do like his knees in the motor pool, bro. You know that motor pool ground is concrete. His knees went face first, blood everywhere. I was like, bro.
I have experience with having the extra motivated CO, but I had my CO. We're in for the Marine Corps ultra marathon team.
Oh hell no! That's
dude. Like every company run, dude. I was the only one that, because I ran in college for long distance, so I was able to hang with them, but I was the only one in the unit. And he looked back and he's like, "Boudreaux, where's everybody?" I'm like, "Sir, you lost them like 3 miles back there."
Yeah, sir, you're doing too much damn running. You need to slow the hell down.
Hey, but we got free Oakleys out of it because he was sponsored by Oakley, so we all got free Oakleys in the whole unit.
Oh,
so it was great.
That's a good thing. So, funny story about a change of command. One of my very few change of commands I ever had to do. You know, we're standing there parade rest, and this is how much bearing a young Lance Corporal Springer had. Person in front of me falls. I see them falling. They fall straight back. I open the gate, let them fall, parade rest right over them, and wait. all you see is the drag out my TV. It was the funniest thing ever, bro. Like, so I get back, man, my people like, what the hell, man? I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, ain't my problem. I'm standing here at parade rest like a good Marine's supposed to do. I drank water today. Hoorah. I'll use it like the legs are just like kicking it and shaking out too. So it's hilarious. Could have happened to a better person, though. I'm never going to say their names in public, but it could have happened to a better person. Funny boot camp story. We had if I ever get my battle buddy from boot camp, my double mint twin, Travis Stocker, on the show, we literally looked identical. That's why they called us the double mint twins. And literally, we was in a run, and the guy beside him on the very first unit run at boot camp, very first one, you just got your drill instructors. That next day, you're going on that motivational run. A kid were running, and now I hate running, by the way. And so let's just be real. I hated running then, and I hate it even more now. So I'm running, Travis beside me, hoorah, running. Kid over here goes, I got to go to the bathroom. Me and Travis were like, yeah, that ain't happening. I really got to go. I'm about to poop myself. I was like, what? He's like, oh, God, I can't hold it. Pooped himself on the run. Imagine this kid. Now, let me explain one of my drill instructors. Shout out then Staff Sergeant Jerkowitz. Think about that name. He's like a 6'4" Russian guy. Cool as shit. He's a warrant officer last time I heard. This kid, second day of having him as a drill instructor. Now, the height differential is like this, right? I had to go up to him and be like, this recruit has to make a head call. We're in the middle of a run. That's how he sounded. We're in the middle of a run. What? He's like, I just shit myself. You did what? Oh. And he yelled at like another drink instructor, hey, the recruit just shit himself. It's like if you ever watch Family Guy and they're picking on you, it's literally what happened. They literally called this guy shit boy. His last name ended with an S. And so they said it ends with an S because he shit on himself. Funniest thing ever. Oh my God. It was hilarious. It could have happened to a better guy.
I love boot camp. God, I love boot camp.
The worst thing that ever got told to me, and this is not going to be PG.
This show hasn't been PG the whole time.
So literally, let me explain something. This thing right here snap-in week, the week before you're supposed to go to the rifle range and fire or live rounds. I don't know what you do in the Army. You'll probably go to like some 3D simulator thing, but we actually have to hold our rifles, look at a fucking rusted
Trash can.
look
Look at a trash can
with the silhouette. And you have to make the sound.
Yep.
You have to make
They made you make the sound.
And so the drill instructors, they're supposed to be chill that week. They're not supposed to freak with you.
Yeah, right.
Staff Sergeant Jerkowitz likes to mess with Mr. Springer a little bit. And so does drill instructor Sergeant Stearns, who now is like drill instructor at Ole Miss. This dude had to roll his sleeves and sew them. He was so big. And he had to give us the family day talk about drill instructor Sergeant Stearns seeing the same women that's going to be here when he graduates is going to be here when you graduate. They just want your money. So anyway, they both came up to me and said, "Hey, Springer, you should have been swallowed." I look, and it's like, "Oh, did you just make a smile?" And I'm standing there like this. Sir, no, sir. Oh, I think you did. Come on, Springer. Let's go run. Sugar cookie up, bro.
No, they do that. They did that stuff to us in the pit during the shooting. They would come up there and try to make you laugh because you're not supposed to. You just stand there and pull the target down, put it put it back up. Yeah. So and there's two of you.
Had electronic stuff like.
But the thing is, there was two of them doing it. There's two of you doing it, and then there's one drill instructor for like 5 or 6 of you, right? They try to make you laugh, and as soon as you laugh, wall squat, and you just sat there wall squat the whole time while the dude's doing his shots, and you're like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die today. It's going to happen.
Hey, I remember every one of my drill instructors. My favorite one, though, and yes, I did have a favorite, Sergeant Garcia. I can never find him again, but I wish I could. He was a baseball guy. He's from Miami. He would always make me stand duty at 4 a.m. No, 3 to 4 a.m. because we get up at 4. Just so when he left, I could cover for him and say he was out going to do a workout. But he is really, and I quote, going to see some females in a PG version. But he would go out and he smoked Newports, and he would go out, smoke a cigarette, and blow it back in my face like, there's your fix for the day. like he would. But he would always talk to me about baseball. He's a big Manny fan, Manny Ramirez fan. And like we'd talk baseball. And like literally at the end of boot camp, where I had to go to his truck to go get stuff out of his truck so he could turn it back in for him. And this is like 20 minutes before graduation, right? And so I'm bringing all of his shit back. And he goes, "Hey, Springer, who used to F you up more, me or Stearns?" And I looked, I was like, you always sent me to Stearns, so I think Stearns won that battle. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right," and he just walked away. But like, he was cool as crap, man. Shout out to all my drill instructors. I got some friends who are drill instructors too. But it was a fun show. Wouldn't y'all agree today?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey, gentlemen, I'm not going to thank you for your service this weekend. I'll do that in November. But I do appreciate you both being on the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hanging with the Chad. Best, you got any words for the guests to close out on?
Nah, man, just laugh.
And Boudreaux, you got anything you want to say to the world?
Now you know how it is. Get better.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first from Mr. Boudreaux. Hey, celebrate Memorial Day the right way, ladies and gentlemen. Be better. We appreciate you. We love you. And thank you for hanging with the Chads today.